Nothing to talk about publicly at this point in time. We're still kind of moving guys around to line up with the way we feel like is best for us going forward. And we'll have Robbie Erlin throw a few innings today, and that's probably the shortest term change that we had was him going today.
When will Chris go?
He'll go tomorrow. He'll go tomorrow. Him and Nick Margavicius will both throw tomorrow. Nick will throw in the game against the Diamondbacks. Chris will throw in the stadium game that the Prospects have tomorrow.
Where is that?
We really want to win that Prospect game. It's here, Peoria.
Would you want to get Paddock another start before the season, after this one?
We're working through that. It's stuff we're going to talk through internally for the time being, and all these guys are lined up on different schedules right now.
When's Lauer going to pitch next? Do you know that offhand?
Not off the top of my head.
Is it not on top of Strom Wednesday?
No, Strom. Lauer, Lucchesi have sides today. Strom is throwing on Wednesday.
Tom Springer trying to get guys 9 innings of playing time. I know Hedgie played a full game. Is that where you see more of that this last week, and then do you back off a little bit towards
I think 7s are accomplishing a lot for our main guys. We'll stretch some of them to 9. Getting them up back-to-back days is probably more important than 9 innings, so to speak. So as we do that coming up here in the final days of camp, most of these guys will get pushed pretty good.
As far as bullpen back-to-back days coming up pretty soon too?
A few guys for sure. We have some of those guys scheduled right now for that.
Luis had a little hot streak kind of earlier, and it's been a grind for him recently. What do you make of the spring he's put together, and maybe some of his swings and misses issues?
Yeah, I think the best thing for him this spring is he's flat out defending the field at shortstop, and I think that was the biggest thing that we want to see. He's going to hit. He's hit his whole life. He's always had good at-bats, and you don't read into spring training batting averages or spring training guys hitting 700 and guys hitting 150. You don't think too much of that right now this time of year. Just see him getting his work in every day, and no guy that's always hit, he's going to hit.
How challenging has the bullpen decisions become?
We've got it down to a group of guys that we're going to choose from because we like that group of guys right now. So we haven't really spent a ton of time deliberating over the final construct of the roster because there's so much that happens between now and the time that we officially set the roster. So some guys have injuries, some guys really perform, some guys don't. And you factor all that into the equation along with past performance. So it's been a deliberation to get down to this group of guys, and then from this group of guys, the conversation will be ongoing probably for the next week. But it really picks up in earnest, probably right before we leave for Seattle.
Are there 11, 12 relievers?
I think the guys that are in camp right now are in camp because we expect them to really impact us this season. Obviously, you're not going to break with 11 or 12 relievers. So, the guys that end up in AAA sometimes can be the guys that impact you the most before the year's out. All you got to do is look at last year, realize that, and see what Jose Castillo did for us and Trey Wingenter did for us. And, so some of those guys will, not those guys in particular, obviously, but some guys will be in AAA and they'll be come to the rescue guys that could be here in a day or a week or a month, and they'll be a big part of what we do.
Bryan Mitchell came in the middle of an inning in his last outing and went 1 2/3. Is his role maybe changing in that regard, to maybe a little more of a long man bullpen type?
Yeah, he's not a candidate to break in our rotation. That doesn't mean he won't be in our rotation at some point in time in the season, but he's not someone we're considering for the rotation right now. There's other guys that have asserted themselves above him.
Could he win a spot in that role as a longer reliever?
Sure. That's what he's in camp competing for. He's scheduled like the rest of the relievers are right now. No side session in between like starters get, and he's going to have the opportunity to throw the baseball here in the last week and make an impression.